Well, today when you look at the altcoin space and the cryptocurrency space in general, you can't help but wonder if the altcoin season is ever going to come or is it canceled. And in this kind of situations, when we have this type of markets, when the doubts and uncertainty are lurking, and we start to lose faith and lose conviction in this crypto market, it is very important to come back to the basics of what's going on here to really have a clearer vision of what's happening without the emotions and without the fear and the greed and all that. So the reason I am very optimistic about 2025 and I'm very bullish about 2025 and I still predict a very big altcoin season happening is because a lot of things that we usually see in bull markets or things that are needed for a bull market haven't happened yet. The first thing we really want to look at is the global liquidity index, which is basically showing us how much money is in people's hands, which basically tells us everything we need to know. Are people able to buy our cryptos? Are they into that risk on market? Do they want to buy stuff like cryptos or are they not interested? So as you can see, the yellow line is the global liquidity index, and whenever it spikes up and starts going up, the prices of cryptocurrencies as well, like Bitcoin and others, starts to go up. And this also reflects the Fed's cutting rates. This is also why you would hear about that a lot, where we are waiting for the Feds to start cutting rates. But something is very interesting when it comes to global liquidity relation with Bitcoin is that it usually precedes Bitcoin's price. So we can pretty much predict what happens with Bitcoin just by looking at the global liquidity. As you can see now here, there was a massive spike on global liquidity back in the lockdown times. And you know what happened back then when we had the bug? The governments of all around the world started printing money to save up their economy. And we've seen a major bull market in 2021, which led us to a major altcoin season. Same thing happened in 2017, where we've seen the global liquidity started to rally or started to increase as governments started printing money. Bitcoin price also started going up, and also altcoins started to go up. Now, as of recently, that's why it's one of the most unpredictable markets today, or bull market, is not only the first time we see Bitcoin putting a new all-time high before the halving, which was around April of 2024, but this year we've seen Bitcoin putting a new all-time high before the halving. And the reason it happened is because of the ETFs. And that's something we're gonna get to as well. But Bitcoin ETFs were a major trigger for Bitcoin to start absorbing much more liquidity than it used to, especially from that money or global liquidity. So what we notice, especially now, that's what's most important to us, is you can see here that there is a delay between the global liquidity and Bitcoin. So we can see that each time the global liquidity starts to rally higher, which this started around October of 2022, it started to go up. Bitcoin later on started to go up. There is a delay, as you can see clearly. Here it started to go up a few months after the global liquidity started to go up. Now, global liquidity started to go down. Bitcoin needed a few more weeks or months to start to go down as well. Now, it did not go as low as the global liquidity did put in a lower low. It did not do that. Now, we could say that probably the ETFs before that, or like the insiders or the people that knew about that, started buying up, or basically Bitcoin was very undervalued back then at 25K. So people seen that as a very good opportunity to buy up Bitcoin. So it did not go as low and put a new low like the global liquidity. But what's important to us is as soon as the global liquidity started to go up, Bitcoin prices start to go up again. Now, the global liquidity started to go down here. As you can see, it started right around here. It topped here with Bitcoin, but then it started to go down while Bitcoin kept going up. This is the ETF rally. And because the global liquidity started to go down, Bitcoin started to see some sort of a ranging, and nothing really much happened. Then, as we can see here, that's very important to us to note that Bitcoin is very strong, because if it wasn't for the global liquidity pulling back, this thing would have just kept going up. But we've seen the global liquidity contracting while Bitcoin going sideways. So it kind of stopped it from really going up a lot. And as well, we can see that there was a pullback right here. So right before the major low on that global liquidity index, you can see that few months after or few weeks after, we've seen the major sell-off on Bitcoin here with Germany selling and all that. But then you can see that the global liquidity put a new, started to rally again, while Bitcoin did nothing. So keep that in mind. Again, this is a very, very major area here, where Bitcoin did nothing while the global liquidity started to go up, but only later on Bitcoin started catching up again when we've seen again the rally. So since then as well, global liquidity kept going down, Bitcoin is going sideways, just like when we seen this range here where global liquidity was going down with Bitcoin going sideways. Now we could argue that the global liquidity did put in another low and it's starting to go up again. So that's very important to keep in mind. We're pretty much are gonna see Bitcoin here again doing the sideways moves that we've seen previously with the global liquidity rallying. So as soon as this starts to go up again, so the global liquidity probably will start to move back up while Bitcoin ranges and then catches up to it with another rally higher. So that's one thing I'm really bullish on. That's why also I'm very bullish on the upcoming months for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And you can see that overall on that long-term frame or long time or high time frame, we can see that overall the global liquidity has just been going down, and that is due to most of the countries of the world have not really started increasing liquidity, have not started really printing money, and that's what we're waiting for the Fed to start to do, basically in the US, to start printing money to stimulate the economy, and that would send the global liquidity even higher. So we want to keep an eye on this, because as soon as they were going to start to do that, we're going to start to see this going up. So recently we've seen the Bank of Canada started to cut rates. This will affect pretty much a lot this. We might see Japan doing the same thing and other big large countries doing the same thing, especially with the Trump tariffs, with these countries that are going to struggle like Europe, where they're going to struggle with the tariffs and they might want to save their economy by printing more and adding to the global liquidity. Adding the US as well will probably this year start to cut rates more again, increasing the global liquidity, which will lead us to a massive rally, which usually is the one that gets the altcoins to rally. So that is very important. Now, when it comes to altcoins and do I actually believe it's over or is it canceled, we want to look at ETH. So you by now all see that if Ethereum is not pumping, nothing else will pump. Even if it's Solana pumping, altcoins don't care, because if you haven't noticed yet, Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency in the world, right after Bitcoin. So you can say that Bitcoin is Bitcoin and Ethereum is our altcoin index. So if Ethereum is an altcoin, and if it starts to pump, altcoins will pump. If it starts to dump, altcoins will dump. It's very simple. Now, what we know about Ethereum, now if Ethereum does a 10x from here, altcoins that are lower market cap are gonna do double that, triple that, quadruple that, maybe 10 times that. And for lower cap coins or lower cap meme coins on ETH are gonna do 100x that. So that's very important, because this all comes down to market cap and how much money is flowing in the system. As we just seen with the global liquidity with Bitcoin, when it comes to altcoins, Ethereum is the system or the ecosystem where money flows into these altcoins. Now, what we noticed previously with Bitcoin or Ethereum and Bitcoin is that last cycle Ethereum market cap went as high as $572 billion market cap, while Bitcoin went to 1.3 trillion. So it's about 40% or 44%. Ethereum's market cap is about 44% that of Bitcoin. So just counting from that alone, today, or the high of Bitcoin, market cap was at around 216 trillion. I do think this has no problem doubling the previous cycle, where we'll see Bitcoin market cap going to 2.5, 2.6 trillion, if not 3 trillion. So we're going to keep it savvy, and we're going to keep it low target. We're going to keep low targets, and we're going to say Bitcoin is going to 2.6, just doubling the market cap. So if that actually happens, and Bitcoin and Ethereum just needs to catch up to Bitcoin basically market cap by 40%, What that means is if Bitcoin goes to 2.6 trillion or 2.5 trillion, a 40% of that would be around 1 trillion, also a round number for the market cap for Ethereum. So that's a 70% increase above previous market cap high on Ethereum on the previous cycle. That's 1 trillion. So that's just for Ethereum to alone to just catch up, or just to catch up on Bitcoin and just do exactly what it did in 2021 in terms of performance, which is going to be very bearish, because usually people, when they go to altcoins, they want to outperform Bitcoin. That's why they go to altcoins. So we're being bearish by saying that ETH is just going to do a 70% above its previous all-time high and go to $1 trillion market cap. And usually it does outperform, so it means that it should go higher, way higher. And also in terms of price, Ethereum is deflationary, so the market cap as well, just the market cap relativity to price is different, because if the supply is lower, a higher market cap will impact the price even much higher. But if we go back to ETH USDT and we look at what's a 70% or 72%, let's say, above previous all-time high, we put the price at around 8,400 for Ethereum. So that's just for Ethereum to catch up on Bitcoin, not to do anything crazy, not to do anything fancy, just to catch up to it. It needs to actually go to 8,400 without counting the deflationary aspect of Ethereum and the supply that's get taken out of circulation and all that stuff. That's a 3x from today alone, just for Ethereum to go back and catch up to Bitcoin. And that means for altcoins, it's a much larger impact on their prices depending of their market cap and where they stand. So for perspective, altcoins or meme coins that are around 20 million, let's say, dollar market cap or below, will do 100x based on just this alone, on Ethereum going to 8K or 8,400. But the thing is, I personally do think we're going to see much higher prices for Ethereum, but this, keep in mind, this is a bearish target for Ethereum at 8,400. It's still a bearish target. If we repeat 2021 in terms of performance and Ethereum actually outperforms Bitcoin, we're going to see much higher prices and way above 10K or even 12K for ETH or more. So that also is very bullish in terms of altcoins, and that also tells us that we are still expecting a very major altcoin season. That's why you will see most of the people or most of the OGs in the space are still expecting a large altcoin season. Is because Ethereum hasn't done much. Now, the second thing why we are expecting an altcoin season is the Bitcoin dominance. You probably now started to see this everywhere now, since Bitcoin dominance now is not looking like it wants to drop. Now, what you need to keep in mind is this is also another reason why we're expecting an altcoin season. Is it never before in history we've seen Bitcoin dominance going up and altcoins going up with it. Just this cycle we started to see some outperformance pockets here and there, like Pepe and other meme coins that were very that outperformed the market by a lot. And that's due to that people now, once they see Bitcoin rallying, they go straight up to the desserts and they go straight up to altcoins besides the top 10 coins or top 20 coins. They go straight up to actually other coins. But the institutions, as you can see, are the ones we are waiting for to pump the majors, and that's those institutions haven't started selling their Bitcoin to buy other altcoins. And usually when that happens, it's reflected on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and that's when we actually have an altcoin season. This is the 2021 and this is the 2017. So we're pretty much in line waiting for that massive altcoin season to happen, which hasn't happened yet. Now, as when it comes to fundamentals and what we see now happening in the market while everybody is freaking out, we have the BlackRock buying ETH ETFs, which is massive to see that the institutions are slowly buying Bitcoin. And they had the largest day ever just a few days ago, or on the 4th of February, with $300 million worth of Ethereum that they bought up. We've seen other institutions like World Liberty Fi, Trump's crypto company, buying as well Ethereum. We're seeing a lot of big catalysts slowly building up for ETH, while most of the people feel bearish, which is understandable because most of the people are on altcoins. Me as well. We are all on altcoins because we don't care what ETH is gonna do. We're not here for a 3x or a 5x. We're not here to do 2x on Bitcoin. We're here for actually life-changing money, and that only happens with altcoins. So that's why the market is feeling down. Now, we usually see those kind of moves in the market before we see any major rallies. As when it comes to the local time frame here on Ethereum, as we can see, Ethereum recently seen this major sell-off when we've seen it going to 2,100, and then we've seen it always getting rejected from 4,000. Now, recently, or today, this morning, I was looking at this chart, and because I've been basically day trading XRP for the whole duration, or since 2022, is a perfect place. It's a perfect coin to day trade because of the fact that it ranges so much that you can pretty much, if you're a day trader, it's your heaven, because whenever it goes to the lower band or lower range, you can long, and whenever it goes to the higher range, you can short. It's pretty much been doing a lot this kind of stuff since 2022. Basically, it was heaven for trading. But because I've been trading it a lot, I started to have an intuition when it comes to, I started to have this kind of flashbacks or deja vu with Ethereum as well. So Ethereum really reminds me of XRP now, where a lot of people are complaining that the price is just going sideways, nothing is happening, it just bounces from up to down and just bounces and ping pongs from highs to lows. And this is exactly what I noticed with Ethereum or the XRP for a while. And we can argue that this range here that we see from 4,000 to 2,100 is pretty much the same range we've seen with XRP, going from that $1 to 0.4, where we've seen here, this was the win, the SEC win for XRP. And I remember that day so much because I missed this play here because I went to the gym, kid you not, but this was an 80% move, and I missed this move, and the market wasn't really doing much back in the days, and we missed this move. But the thing is, we've seen it really come back down. It's the same thing we've seen with ETH, with the ETH ETFs. We've seen the rally of the ETH ETFs being retraced completely, and that's pretty much reminds me of what happened with XRP, where we had that SEC win and XRP is looking suddenly very bullish, but then the price retraced back down and nothing happened, and it kept kind of swinging around here until suddenly it broke out above its all-time high. And I do believe we're going to see something similar when it comes to ETH. As if you look at it this way now, you can see that this is the range where ETH is at now, and suddenly we're seeing XRP skyrocketing here, going for new all-time highs and putting a massive outperformance here. And you can see this was overall a 6x move. Now, because XRP is a lower market cap coin compared to Ethereum, that means that 3x from here is still on the table for Ethereum, and an 8K target for the upcoming months, and especially this year, which means altcoin season happening, high confidence it's happening. Ethereum to 8K is pretty much very likely, and that really reminds me of XRP here. So keep that in mind. I do think we're gonna see that range now here, the ETF pump completely retraced, then we had the rally again, and then we had another retrace. So we might see this range at some point breaking out, and it would look just like XRP. Now, once that happens, it's gonna take all altcoins with it, and it's gonna start the actual altcoin season. And they say, just show me the charts and I will tell you the news. And it might just be timed very well with the Fed's cutting rate and the liquidity index going up and all that. It might just be that actually what's gonna cause this to happen, and we see finally that rally and a sustained bull market and a sustained altcoin season. So keep that in mind. And remember, bears sound smart, but bulls make money. Overall, the market always go up, and 2025 usually is the post-halving year where we see the major altcoin season. So everything is on track, nothing is really bad happening here, and keeping it just chart based and whatever happens in the past, we're seeing that everything that we see today is pretty much in line with what happened previously, and we're expecting this actually to play out, and we see a major altcoin season. Now, keep in mind as well that for my people that have been following me for a while, coins that are on Ethereum are going to do very well, since Ethereum, or once Ethereum is going to start rallying, if Ethereum does a 3 to 5x from here, coins on Ethereum are going to do fantastic, like Breton ETH and others that I shared with you, and Pepe and Toshi. All all the meme coins that are on it or it ecosystem are gonna do very well. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video till the end, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.